All right, so in this video, I wanted to go through some point of sale reporting and some different metrics that you can use for looking at what your end of day stuff was, looking at sessions and orders, and some more detailed reporting options for the point of sale. So off the bat, if you go to the point of sale module, you'll see we have these three sessions or three registers in the system. And you have the option of clicking on these three buttons over here, and it's going to open up this view, and you can view orders or view sessions. So if I click on view sessions, it will show me only the sessions for that particular register. And from there, I can drill down, or if I want to see all of the orders that have been placed through this register, I can click on that and it'll show me all the individual orders. So that's an easy way to get to them, broken down by the register. You can also go to the orders menu up here in the top, and there is orders, sessions. You can even look at the payments and or customer details. So if I come up here and click on sessions, this will show me all of the sessions for all registers. So, traditionally you're going to have one session per day, or if you do, closing of the register in between, shifts with your cashiers, there may be multiple per day. But they'll be grouped by, or they'll be listed here by point of sale, who opened it, the opening date and the closing date, and if they're still open or closed, or anything like that. So that's your actual sessions. If I was to come into and open one of these sessions, you can have some overarching metrics. You're going to have, again, who opened it, what register it belongs to, the journal entry, the opening and closing dates, what the starting balance of the cash drawer was, and what the ending balance of the cash drawer was. From there, I do note that the ending balance, depending on if you're using the automatic withdrawal feature, the ending balance may not be the total that was in the cash drawer at closing, but it's the amount that was left in the cash drawer for the next shift or the next day, depending on your configurations and your closing procedures. You can see our other videos on that. But you'll see it'll also have quick links to any orders, the pickings, so this would be your inventory moves, your total payments. Again, there's journal items, which shows all the journal entries that are tied to that point of sale session, and then your cash register, which will show you the cash details. In this case, that was the total amount of cash we received, and then we took out the $444 at the end of the day to be deposited in the bank, and we left in the $254 in this example. So there's where you can come in and see your orders. I can jump in the orders and see all the orders taken from that day. You can also drill down and see the payments that were taken for that day, broken out by if they were cash, bank or check, credit card, manual transactions, or through the terminal. So that's an easy way to get some high-level overviews of your sessions. From there, if you want to go into more in-depth reports or multi-day reports, you can go to the reporting tab. And from here, you're going to have two options. You can look at orders or sales details. We're going to start by looking at the orders. So if I click on orders, it's going to give you this by default bar chart. You can also change it to a line chart. And you can go through and manipulate these and save as your favorites as you want to. But by default, it shows you the different categories of the products and the amount of sales that you've had. From there, I typically prefer the pivot charts. You can go into the pivot chart, and this is where you can really do a lot of drill down and configuration. You can change your metrics that you want up here. You can show what your margin was for that day in dollars based on what you've sold. You can look at what your average price is of your stuff. You can go through and look at what the subtotal without discounts is, what your total discount for the day was. So you can add a lot of these metrics. By default, it breaks it up by month, but you can come in here and you can change your group bys and say, I want to group it by day. So now you can come in here and it shows you your grouping by day. Normally I would flip these axes and put my days across the top. And so you can see all the details by day, but depending on your metrics, that could get really, really long. So keep an eye on that. The other thing you can do is you can come in here and manually add these. So I can come and say, hey, show me my month. And then for the month of February, I want to break that out by week. And now you can see your month of February broken out by week. And technically you can come in here and do it even again and say, now show me by day. So I can come in here and say, well, February week 5, and these were each of the days that we've had, and there's all of the metrics based on our cells. We come over here and say, I want this to be based on my product categories, and there will be all of my cells broken out by product categories, broken out by month, week, and or day. So these reports can be highly configured to be what you're specifically looking for. They can be as complicated as simple as you want them. And you can always come into your favorites and save your favorites over here. Or if you want to download a copy of it to Excel, you just click on this download to Excel button, and it will give you whatever view you have here. It will export it into an Excel that you could keep for some archives or some monthly reporting if you would like that. So that's the pivot charts. These are my favorites for doing some real drill downs. You can come in here and add custom filters and really fine tune this. If you're looking for a specific point of sale category, you can filter it. Or if you want to look at specific products or product categories, you can also refine those details using the filters options. So jumping into the sales detail. So this sales detail is a really nice report, especially if you didn't get an end of day or someone missed to print the end of day report, or you just don't actually print those on a daily, but you want to be able to go in and look at the historicals. So what you could do here is you're going to do a sales detail, and you can do it by start date and end date. So you specify your dates and which registers you want to include. So by default, it's going to pull in all your registers. And this is a good way to get all of your total daily, or you can break this out into longer periods and print them across all registers instead of just one register at a time. I can now open up this PDF report. And again, it's going to be the same thing as your closing reports per register, but in this case, it's a combined for all registers. You've got all the products you sold, the total payments broken out by method, and then your total taxes for that period. So that's an easy way to be able to rerun your end of day reports, or by all registers, and or to group them maybe if you want them by a larger time span, and you can run them by maybe an entire week, and then you can go through and run those by a larger time period as well. Okay, so that's most of the reporting. The next additional report, depending on permissions, if you go to your dashboard, we also have a basic dashboard under the cells. If you go to your point of sale dashboard, it will give you some basic metrics over here, just kind of like some KPIs. You can have the total number of orders, what your revenue was, your average order size. You can sort by session. You can limit it by which register it is. So I can say, hey, well, based on this, this register has an average order size of $183, generated the X number of revenue and the number of orders placed over the last 90 days. You can say 7 days, or change your day periods. You can also technically limit it down to the product. And I like using it mostly as a hierarchy by looking at the last 90 days or whatever. You can see your charts. It'll give you your average order value, your total revenue over that period. It'll break down what your top orders were. So in this case, a lot of these are refunds that from testing. You've got your top sessions by revenue, your point of sale, or your registers that are producing the most revenue, the individuals, and your top products, or cashiers, I should say, in your top products. So what's your top grossing product through the point of sale register. So this one's really good for just some overall KPIs. If you're just looking for some basic information, average order size is kind of a really handy metric that you can keep track of and see how things are going on a month-to-month basis, and total orders and average order value.